I'm Jeff Kennedy for Lancaster Leadership, and today I want to talk to you about my signature keynote, which is entitled More Than Wishful Thinking. And before I get started, I want to just ask you a simple question. I want you to consider this for just a moment. Have you ever had a dream or a goal, a vision that was so vivid that you could almost taste it? And yet, maybe a few months or years or maybe even decades later, nothing really ever happened. It was a vision that either petered out, flamed out, lays dormant. You never got there. And if I were to ask you why, what would be the good reasons that you would come up with? Was it a lack of resources? Was it a lack of time? Was it a lack of money? Or was it a lack of clear vision? What if I even ask you, did you really expect for that to happen in the first place? And the reason why I ask the question in that way is because oftentimes what we desire is just wishful thinking. I would like to move you from wishful thinking into vision, decision, and action. And to do that, we have to reconsider or redefine a little word that we often use but is often misunderstood. And that word is hope. The problem is hope is misunderstood. It's even misused. Oh, I really hope for the best. Well, that's passive. That's passive optimism. Everything's going to be okay. That's passive optimism. It doesn't have any meat. It doesn't have an engine. It doesn't have any fuel. And quite frankly, hope is none of those things. It's not wishful thinking. It's not toxic positivity. And it's not passive optimism. In fact, if you were to look it up in the dictionary, you would find that real hope, by definition, is a desire with an earnest expectation for success. Real hope drives trust. Real hope has resilience. If you change even the way that you think about it when someone or you say it, I really hope this is going to turn out for the best. What if you said, I really earnestly expect the best outcome? Now there is some meat to that. There's some substance, excuse me, there's some substance to the subject. Hope for success, success, achievement, the goal, whatever the dream is. It could be to retire in 6 months. It could be to get a pilot's license. It could be to spend a month in Italy. It could be whatever. There really is no end to the vision and the dream once it becomes an earnest expectation, and that's the subject. So then what happens? Now we own it. And in part of this talk, we'll talk about accountability. We'll talk about extreme ownership because when you've gone from wishful thinking to earnest expectation, you have something to hold on to. You can create a standard. Those standards are based on your values or the company's values. You can hold yourself and others accountable to that standard. You can inspire that this isn't based on emotion, this is based on results. And suddenly that conveyor belt is moving from I wish it would to I expect it will. The other thing is feedback. And feedback is so important in this process because if you're just wishing, that's so diluted that oftentimes someone who is practical, pragmatic, prudent, they are the enemy of weak hope. They are the absolute enemy of wishful thinking. Because if you don't have the resources and you're told that, or you don't have the time, or you don't have the skill, wishful thinking wilts in the face of prudence or pragmatic thought. But strong hope, an expectation of something extraordinary happens, now takes that feedback, and that feedback becomes an acknowledgement of the reality that, hey, we might need to seek some additional resources. We might need a little bit more education or training. We might need more support. The acknowledgement of that reality now steps us into ownership. Let's own this. Let's embrace the deficiency that we're facing that's keeping us from getting to what we hope earnestly expect. And now from there, You begin to think about solutions. And once you have solutions, then you implement them. You see, real hope, real productive hope, is way more than wishful thinking. It's an earnest expectation that you, your team, can accomplish something extraordinary. And not only that you can, but you will, you expect to. And in that process, you're going to have ownership and accountability. You're going to embrace, not just seek feedback and accept feedback, you're going to hunger and embrace feedback. And that is going to create for you the vision, the decision, the action, and the positive end result. I hope that helps you. Tune in for more. I'm Jeff Kennedy.